Across the globe, nature forges battlegrounds where only the most adaptable endure. In Africa's sun-baked savannas, the horizon blazes gold, acacia trees casting long shadows over herds of elephants that march with ancient purpose. Each step is a negotiation with the land, where the relentless sun bakes the soil to dust, and every waterhole becomes a coveted sanctuary, fiercely guarded and desperately sought. Far to the north, Alaska's wilderness is a realm sculpted by ice and silence. Towering mountains loom over endless forests, their branches heavy with snow. Caribou press forward, forging trails through drifts that threaten to swallow them whole, their breath crystallizing in the air as they search for lichen beneath the frozen crust. Here, survival is a test of endurance against a cold that seeps into bone and marrow. These savage kingdoms are shaped by extremes. Parched earth splits open under the sun's merciless gaze, while elsewhere, blizzards erase the horizon in a whiteout of swirling snow. Time-lapse reveals the drama of the seasons. Barren wastelands transform into lush oases, only to be reclaimed by drought or frost, each cycle demanding new strategies for survival. In Africa, the arrival of rain is both a blessing and a challenge. Thunderheads gather on the horizon, unleashing torrents that transform dust into a vibrant carpet of green. Zebra and wildebeest sense the change, embarking on migrations that span hundreds of miles. Their survival hinges on timing. Arriving too soon or too late can mean starvation or death by thirst. Alaska's winter is a crucible of adaptation. The Arctic fox, cloaked in immaculate white, becomes a phantom against the snow, its keen ears tuned to the faintest rustle beneath the surface. Moose, towering and resilient, wade through chest-deep drifts, stripping bark and twigs from hidden branches. Their every movement a calculation of energy spent versus calories gained. In South Africa's deserts, the landscape is a sea of shifting dunes, sculpted by relentless winds. Oryx and springbok traverse this arid expanse, their bodies engineered for efficiency. They draw moisture from sparse vegetation, their senses attuned to the faintest hint of water, and their movements measured to conserve every drop of life-sustaining fluid. The Alaskan tundra, vast and treeless, is a domain of extremes. Herds of caribou and musk oxen cross open ground exposed to biting winds that sweep unimpeded for miles. Beneath the frozen surface, Arctic ground squirrels enter a state of suspended animation, their heartbeats slowing to a fraction, surviving months of darkness and cold in hidden burrows. Every ecosystem is a gauntlet of challenges. On the savanna, predators melt into the tall grass, eyes fixed on the vulnerable. In the tundra, musk oxen form defensive circles, their shaggy coats shielding them from the wind and from prowling wolves. Lion pride sprawl beneath the scant shade, conserving energy for the explosive violence of the hunt. Survival is a relentless contest. Wildebeest surge across crocodile-infested rivers, driven by hunger and instinct. Wolves, masters of teamwork, coordinate silent hunts through the snow, their breath steaming in the frigid air. Overhead, flocks of birds embark on migrations that span continents, guided by the stars and the subtle cues of the Earth's magnetic field. In these unforgiving arenas, every encounter is a test of skill and instinct. Lionesses burst from cover, muscles coiled for the chase, while wolf packs move as a single entity, their survival dependent on unity and precision. Each confrontation is a moment where fate is decided in a heartbeat. The margin between life and death is razor thin. Newborns rise on trembling legs, their first breaths watched by vigilant eyes, predators and protectors alike. Every heartbeat, every glance, every step is a testament to the fierce will to survive in nature's most unforgiving arenas, where only the most resourceful endure. Apex predators reign at the pinnacle of their ecosystems, not solely by brute force, but through a tapestry of intricate strategies refined over countless generations. Each species, shaped by its environment, has developed unique methods to hunt, survive, and outwit both prey and rivals. Wolves, for example, move as a single silent unit, communicating with subtle glances and body language. Their hunts are choreographed. Some members drive prey forward, while others lie in wait to intercept. African wild dogs split into flanking groups, anticipating escape routes and cutting off any chance of survival for their quarry. Dolphins in the open sea form living nets, herding fish into tight balls before taking turns to feed, each individual reading the movements of the others with uncanny precision. In the African savanna, lionesses employ stealth and coordination, spreading out in a crescent to encircle herds. They communicate with barely perceptible tail flicks and ear twitches, signaling when to advance or hold. The pride's males, meanwhile, patrol the boundaries, their presence alone enough to deter hyenas and leopards from encroaching on hard-won territory. Nile crocodiles are masters of patience and camouflage. With only their eyes and nostrils breaking the surface, they blend seamlessly with the muddy banks. Hours may pass as they wait, motionless, for a single moment of vulnerability. When a thirsty antelope bends to drink, the crocodile erupts from the water in a burst of power, jaws snapping shut with lethal precision. In the frozen north, Alaskan wolves use the landscape to their advantage. They drive caribou into deep snowdrifts, where the heavy animals tire quickly. The pack splits, some wolves harrying from behind, while others race ahead to block escape routes, forcing the caribou into exhaustion before closing in for the kill. Leopards, solitary and elusive, rely on shadows and silence. At dusk they melt into the undergrowth, stalking with calculated patience. Once a kill is made, they drag their prize up into the branches, balancing effortlessly above the reach of hyenas and lions. Here they feast in solitude, safe from the chaos below. In the vastness of the ocean, humpback whales display astonishing teamwork. They dive deep, releasing streams of bubbles in a spiraling ascent. The rising wall of bubbles corrals schools of fish, trapping them in a shrinking circle. At the signal, the whales surge upward together, mouths wide, engulfing thousands of fish in a single, coordinated strike. Orcas, the ocean's apex hunters, exhibit intelligence rivaling that of primates. Some pods specialize in wave washing, generating powerful surges to knock seals from ice flows. Others coordinate to herd herring into tight balls, stunning them with tail slaps. Each pod develops its own hunting culture, passing down techniques from generation to generation, with calves learning by shadowing experienced adults. Across the animal kingdom, the next generation learns by observation and imitation. Lion cubs crouch low, eyes fixed on their mothers as they stalk. Wolf pups trail behind the pack, absorbing every tactic. Cheetah cubs chase after their mother's flicking tail, honing their speed and agility. Even young leopards practice pouncing on fallen leaves, perfecting the skills they'll need to survive. Adaptation is the ultimate strategy. Jaguars, once forest hunters, learn to fish in flooded jungles, using their powerful jaws to snatch prey from the water. Polar bears, faced with melting ice, stalk seals across shifting flows, timing their hunts with the tides. Snow leopards leap across sheer cliffs, blending into the rocks, while Arctic foxes change their coats with the seasons to remain invisible. In every corner of the wild, predators innovate, evolve, and endure, proving that survival belongs to those who master the art of strategy. Across the vast, sun-drenched savanna, prey species have evolved a breathtaking arsenal of defenses, each one a testament to the relentless pressures of survival. Every sense is sharpened, every instinct honed by generations of life on the edge. In this never-ending evolutionary contest, speed and agility are the most immediate shields. Gazelles and impalas, with muscles coiled like springs, explode into motion at the faintest hint of danger. Their zigzagging sprints and sudden leaps create a dizzying spectacle, making it nearly impossible for even the swiftest cheetah to predict their path. Zebras and wildebeest, though different in stripes and stature, unite in vast herds. Their combined vigilance is formidable. Keen eyes and sensitive ears constantly sweep the horizon. When one animal senses a threat, the entire herd reacts in a wave of movement, their numbers and synchronized dashes overwhelming predators and making it nearly impossible to isolate a single victim. Springboks, with nerves strung tight, launch themselves skyward in a display called pronking. These high, stiff-legged leaps serve a dual purpose. They broadcast the presence of danger to the herd and flaunt the springbok's vitality to would-be attackers. For a predator, a pronking springbok is a warning. This prey is healthy, alert, and not worth the chase. Elephants, the titans of the plains, rely on their sheer size and formidable tusks to deter most threats. Led by experienced matriarchs, the herd moves as a single protective unit. Trunks are raised to scent the air, and calves are kept shielded within a fortress of adult bodies. When danger looms, elephants form a defensive wall, trumpeting warnings and ready to charge if provoked. Meerkats, ever vigilant, post sentries atop sandy mounds. These lookouts scan the sky and earth for any sign of danger, from circling eagles to slinking jackals. At the first alarm call, the entire colony vanishes underground in a heartbeat, while pups learn the art of survival by mimicking their elders' every move. Cape buffalo, renowned for their unity, form an unbreakable phalanx when threatened. Massive bodies and lethal horns present a daunting barrier, with calves sheltered at the center. Even the most determined lions hesitate before this living fortress, knowing that a single misstep could prove fatal. Rock hyraxes, though diminutive, are masters of invisibility. Their fur matches the color and texture of the rocks they inhabit, rendering them nearly invisible to predators. Sentries keep constant watch, and at the slightest hint of danger, the colony melts into crevices, vanishing in the blink of an eye. Antelope and impala possess razor-sharp senses and lightning reflexes. A single alarm snort can trigger a chain reaction, sending the entire herd bounding away in perfect unison. This explosive, coordinated escape leaves predators bewildered and empty-handed. Baboons, with their keen eyesight and complex social structure, post sentinels who bark out warnings at the first sign of trouble. Wild dogs, though hunters themselves, must also defend against larger predators. Their survival depends on flawless teamwork, each member playing a role, each movement synchronized to protect the vulnerable and outmaneuver rivals. In this unforgiving wilderness, every adaptation, be it camouflage, speed, strength, or cooperation, can tip the scales between life and death. Here, survival is not a matter of chance, but of constant vigilance, ingenuity, and the unyielding will to endure against all odds. Across the wild, animals now face a challenge unlike any before, one shaped by the far-reaching consequences of human activity. The landscape itself bears silent witness to these changes, as ancient migration routes are interrupted by barren stretches and once familiar watering holes dwindle to muddy puddles. Forests cleared for farmland and settlements leave young elephants wandering alone, their family bonds fractured by invisible boundaries. Leopards, once masters of stealth, now thread their way through a labyrinth of fallen trunks, their golden coats exposed beneath a thinning canopy. Rivers that once shimmered with life now run shallow and clouded, forcing flocks of birds to spiral overhead in search of cleaner waters and safer nesting grounds. Fires sparked by drought and intensified by shifting climates sweep across the savanna, pushing lion prides to the very edges of their territory. Rhinos, their skin caked with dust, journey farther each day in search of water, their calves learning the harshness of survival from their first steps. Far from the plains, sea turtles struggle in the surf, their ancient migrations disrupted by tides of plastic and debris. Yet, even as these challenges mount, hope flickers in the wild. Wild dogs, their movements traced by gentle signals, roam vast distances, their packs adapting to new patterns in the grasslands. Hidden cameras capture the secretive pangolin, its armored form gliding through the night, proof that even the most elusive creatures endure. From above, satellite images reveal patches of green where forests are slowly reclaiming lost ground, a testament to nature's quiet resilience. In grasslands once stripped bare, cheetah cubs now tumble and chase, their playful energy a sign of renewal. Vultures, so often misunderstood, gather in sanctuaries where they feed in safety, their presence vital to the health of the ecosystem. Beneath the waves, coral reefs, once bleached and broken, begin to pulse with color again as darting fish return to weave between the branches of living coral. In the highlands, mountain gorilla families forage in valleys where the forest has been allowed to regrow, their young learning to climb and play among the dense foliage. Wolves, reintroduced to forests where their howls once echoed, now patrol the undergrowth, restoring balance to the land. In wetlands, beavers return to their ancient craft, building dams that slow the flow of water and create new habitats for countless other species. On distant cliffs, snow leopards reclaim their ancestral ranges, their silent steps tracing paths across the rocks. Monarch butterflies, drawn by the scent of wildflowers, cluster in meadows that bloom once more. Elephant herds, led by wise matriarchs, guide their young through corridors of regrown trees, reconnecting habitats that were once isolated and fragmented. In the heart of the jungle, a jaguar's eyes reflect the dappled light of a recovering canopy. Along revitalized rivers, bears fish in clear waters, their presence a sign of a balanced ecosystem. Across the plains, herds of antelope surge forward, their numbers swelling as the land heals. Each animal's journey is a testament to endurance and the possibility of renewal. As eagles soar above flourishing landscapes and otters play in streams once choked with silt, the wild savanna awakens at sunrise, reminding us that, given the chance, nature can recover. The future of these wild kingdoms rests on our resolve to protect and restore their world, ensuring that the wonders of the wild endure for generations yet to come. As the last rays of sunlight bleed away and the world is cloaked in indigo, the wilderness transforms. Shadows stretch and merge, concealing the secrets of the night. In this shifting darkness, a new order emerges, one ruled by creatures whose senses are sharpened for survival when the world sleeps. Deep within the tangled rainforest, the ocelot glides silently between roots and fallen leaves. Its dappled coat, a living mosaic, breaks up its outline, rendering it nearly invisible beneath the shifting canopy. Every step is measured, each muscle coiled with anticipation as it becomes a phantom in the moonlit undergrowth. The ocelot's eyes, wide and luminous, are engineered to capture the faintest glimmer. It scans for the tiniest tremor, a mouse's whisker twitching, a frog's subtle leap. Its world is painted in shades of movement and sound, every sense tuned to the rhythm of nocturnal life. Above the forest floor, the barn owl emerges, a ghostly figure gliding on wings so soft they barely disturb the air. Its flight is a masterclass in silence, each feather edged with microscopic fringes that break up turbulence, allowing it to drift undetected through the night. The owl's heart-shaped face acts as a satellite dish, channeling the faintest rustle of a vole or shrew through the grass below. With pinpoint precision, it triangulates the source, talons poised to strike in utter darkness, its accuracy a testament to generations of evolutionary refinement. In the arid expanse of the desert, the fennec fox emerges from its burrow as dusk settles. Its enormous ears, sensitive to the faintest vibrations, swivel independently, capturing the subtle footsteps of beetles and lizards beneath the sand. Every movement is calculated, every pause a moment to listen for the next opportunity. In the dense jungle, the leopard becomes a living shadow. Its rosette-patterned fur blends seamlessly with the dappled moonlight filtering through the leaves. Muscles ripple beneath its coat as it stalks, each step deliberate, every breath measured to avoid detection. The leopard's eyes, aglow with the eerie reflection of the tapetum lucidum, pierce the darkness. This specialized layer behind the retina amplifies every photon, granting the cat a vision sharpened for the blackest hours. From the shadows it observes, calculating the perfect moment to strike. On the lower branches, the slow loris moves with deliberate patience. Its grip is unyielding, its movements almost imperceptible. Armed with a rare toxic bite, it is both predator and deterrent, a silent enforcer in the nocturnal hierarchy. Each calculated reach brings it closer to unsuspecting insects, its survival ensured by caution and chemistry. In the wetlands, alligators become shadows beneath the water's surface. Only their eyes and nostrils break the plain, reflecting the moonlight as they scan for silhouettes. The stillness is deceptive. Beneath the calm, every muscle is primed for explosive action. When prey draws near, the alligator's jaws snap shut with astonishing speed. Sensitive pits along its snout detect the faintest ripple, allowing it to hunt by touch and vibration alone, a perfect adaptation for ambush in the darkness. Far to the north, the Eurasian lynx glides across the snowy forest floor. Its thick fur muffles every step, and the tufts atop its ears act as parabolic receivers, amplifying the softest sounds. In the frozen silence it becomes a ghost, stalking prey with patience and precision. Each nocturnal predator is a specialist, wielding an arsenal of adaptations, keen senses, cryptic camouflage, and hunting strategies honed by countless generations. Their mastery of stealth is not just a skill but a necessity, for in the night, every advantage can mean the difference between life and death. As the darkness deepens, the wilderness becomes a symphony of whispers and subtle movements. Every rustle, every shadow is a story of survival, of predator and prey locked in a delicate dance, where detection means danger and concealment is the key to life. Beneath the silent gaze of the stars, these hunters reign supreme. Their stories unfold in a world illuminated only by moon and starlight, a realm where survival is earned with every heartbeat, and the night belongs to those who master its secrets. When the sky churns with the promise of a storm, or the relentless sun bakes the land until riverbeds fracture and dust swirls in the wind, the wild is thrust into a test of endurance. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, must find a way to survive or vanish. Across continents, animals have developed astonishing adaptations, each tailored to the unique challenges of their environment. In the vast African savanna, where the horizon shimmers with heat and storms can appear without warning, elephants lift their trunks, detecting the scent of distant rain carried on the wind, long before the first drop touches the earth, through deep resonant rumbles that travel for miles. Matriarchs communicate the coming change, drawing their families together. Guided by memory and instinct, they embark on long, grueling journeys, crossing sun-baked plains and thorny scrub in search of hidden waterholes. Timing is everything. Their arrival often coincides with the first rainfall, ensuring survival for the herd. Their broad, padded feet distribute their weight, allowing them to cross treacherous, waterlogged ground that would mire smaller animals. While antelope and warthogs risk becoming trapped, elephants stride forward unimpeded, their path carved by generations before them. When monsoon rains arrive, transforming dust into torrents, the landscape is reborn, yet new dangers emerge. On Christmas Island, the red crab senses the shift in humidity and pressure, triggering a migration that blankets the forest floor in scarlet. Their journey is synchronized with the lunar cycle and the onset of rain, a ritual as old as the island itself. Millions surge forward, a living tide, navigating roots, rocks, and sudden floods, each crab driven by the urge to reach the sea. They brave swollen streams and flooded undergrowth, risking exhaustion and predation, all for a single chance to spawn. At the ocean's edge, they release their eggs into the surf, while far to the north, the Arctic tundra presents a different ordeal. Here, the polar bear faces a world of endless ice and biting wind, where temperatures plunge and food is scarce. As blizzards rage, visibility vanishes, and the cold seeps into every crevice, threatening even the most resilient. Pregnant females carve deep dens into snowdrifts, using powerful limbs to create a sanctuary beneath the surface. Inside, cubs are born in a cocoon of warmth, their first breaths taken in darkness, shielded from the storm above. The snow acts as insulation, muffling the roar of the wind and holding precious heat within. In the Australian outback, the land cracks and shrivels under months of drought, water vanishing from the surface. The echidna, a spiny survivor, seeks refuge in rocky crevices, its metabolism slowing to a crawl. In a state of torpor, its heartbeat drops, conserving every drop of moisture and ounce of energy until the rains return. Elsewhere, animals turn to the land itself for shelter, using burrows, caves, and dense vegetation to shield themselves from the elements. The burrowing owl excavates deep tunnels, its home a fortress against both floodwaters and wildfire. Here, chicks hatch in safety, insulated from the chaos above, emerging only when the world calms. In the forests of North America, winter brings a silent, icy siege. The wood frog, small and unassuming, survives by freezing solid, its heart ceasing, its blood laced with natural antifreeze. When spring's warmth returns, the frog thaws, heartbeat resuming, and it leaps back to life as if nothing happened. Each extreme event, be it flood, freeze, or drought, reshapes the wild, forging new paths and testing every adaptation. The survivors are those who innovate, birds that build nests in sheltered hollows, mammals that change their coats with the seasons, reptiles that burrow deep to escape the heat. Some birds time their nesting to avoid the fury of hurricanes, raising their young in windows of calm. Amphibians lay eggs encased in protective jelly, able to withstand weeks without rain, hatching only when water returns. Mammals like camels and desert rodents store fat and water within their bodies, living reservoirs that sustain them through the harshest spells. From the frozen poles to the sun-scorched deserts, every habitat demands its own solutions, each animal a testament to nature's inventiveness. In rare moments of peace, the wild seems tranquil, but beneath the surface, every heartbeat is a calculation for survival. It is in the chaos of storms, the fury of floods, and the silence of drought that nature's true resilience is revealed. Only the most adaptable endure, those who can change, innovate, and persist against all odds. With every storm, every flood, and every drought, the story of survival is rewritten, etched into the land and into the lives of those who call it home. Beneath the vast sky and deep within the hidden layers of earth, the wild is alive with the silent genius of nature's architects. Here, survival is not only a contest of strength or speed, but a testament to the art of construction, where every twig, tunnel, and mound is a masterpiece of adaptation. Across continents and climates, these master builders shape their worlds with astonishing ingenuity. From the icy tundra to the humid rainforest, animals construct shelters and fortresses that shield them from the harshest elements and the most cunning predators. In the tangled forests, the weaver bird is a living artisan. With nimble beak and tireless energy, it gathers blades of grass, weaving each strand with deliberate precision. The nest grows, layer by layer, a cradle suspended between earth and sky. These hanging sanctuaries dangle from slender branches, swaying gently in the breeze, always just out of reach of hungry snakes and rival birds. Their placement is strategic, their construction a marvel of balance and strength. Every loop and knot is a product of patience and instinct, forming a fortress that shields delicate eggs from torrential rains and prowling foes. The nest's intricate design is both armor and nursery, a testament to generations of learned skill. Beneath the surface, the naked mole rat is an engineer of the underworld. With chisel-like teeth, it carves through packed earth, forging a labyrinth that stretches far beyond the reach of sunlight. These tunnels snake for hundreds of meters, connecting chambers for sleeping, storing food, and nurturing the next generation. Each passage is mapped by scent and memory, a living blueprint etched in darkness. The colony's subterranean city is a marvel of climate control. Here the temperature remains steady, cool when the sun scorches above, warm when winter bites. The earth itself becomes a shield, protecting the colony from drought, predators, and the chaos of the surface world. At the water's edge, the beaver stands as a living legend, nature's unrivaled engineer. Its world is shaped by tooth and tenacity, every action a step in the transformation of landscape. With powerful jaws, the beaver fells trees and drags branches to the water's edge. Here it assembles a dam, branch by branch, mud and stone locking together to halt the river's relentless flow. Behind these barriers, deep ponds form, safe havens where beavers swim, store food, and raise their young, far from the reach of prowling predators. The dam is both shield and sanctuary, a living monument to persistence. The beaver's handiwork transforms the land, slowing water to create lush wetlands. Frogs chorus in the shallows, waterfowl nest among reeds, and countless creatures thrive in the beaver's engineered oasis. In the grasslands, termites rise as architects of the savanna. Their mounds tower above the plains, some reaching over 20 feet, cathedrals of earth built grain by grain. Inside, a labyrinth of tunnels and chambers unfolds. Here, temperature and humidity are regulated with astonishing precision, the mound's structure channeling air and moisture to create a stable microclimate. The mound breathes through hidden vents, drawing in fresh air and venting heat. Deep within, the queen reigns, surrounded by millions of workers tending to fungus gardens, life thriving in perpetual darkness. High in the canopy, honeybees sculpt their legacy from wax. Each bee works in harmony, shaping perfect hexagons that fit together with mathematical precision, forming the honeycomb's golden lattice. This geometry is no accident. Each cell is engineered for maximum efficiency, strong, spacious, and waste-free. The hive is a marvel of natural mathematics, every angle calculated by instinct. Within these golden walls, nectar is transformed into honey, and larvae are nurtured in warmth and safety. The hive hums with life, every chamber a nursery, pantry, and fortress. Across the wild, innovation flourishes. Mud-walled fortresses, leafy cocoons, and winding burrows. Each structure is a unique solution to the challenges of survival, shaped by the needs of its builder. Every burrow, nest, dam, and hive is more than a shelter. It is a legacy, passed from parent to offspring. Young learn by watching, inheriting the secrets of construction that have ensured survival for generations. Through these remarkable structures, animals do more than endure, they flourish. In the wild, ingenuity is as vital as tooth or claw, and the legacy of nature's builders endures in every corner of the untamed world. In the silent theatre of the wild, not every battle is fought with tooth and claw. Here, survival often hinges on the art of vanishing, on the ability to become invisible, or to transform into something entirely unexpected. Some of nature's most astonishing survivors wield invisibility as their shield, blending seamlessly into their surroundings, or masquerading as something they're not. The chameleon, with skin that shifts through a spectrum of greens and browns, disappears among the leaves. Stick insects and leaf insects, with bodies sculpted and coloured to mimic twigs and foliage, become nearly indistinguishable from the plants they inhabit. The mossy frog, dappled and rough, clings to wet stone, while the pygmy seahorse, no larger than a fingernail, vanishes among coral branches. This is the world of camouflage and mimicry, a never-ending contest of deception, adaptation, and survival. On the forest floor, the leaf-tailed gecko is a living illusion. Its body mirrors the jagged outline and mottled color of dead leaves down to the finest detail, even veins and nibbled edges. Motionless among the litter, it all but vanishes, escaping the gaze of hungry birds and prowling snakes. The gecko's stillness is its greatest ally, for even the slightest movement could betray its presence to a sharp-eyed predator. In the coral reefs, the mimic octopus takes disguise to another level. With a wave of its arms, it transforms, flattening its body and shifting colors to impersonate venomous lionfish, slithering sea snakes, or even flounders gliding across the sand. Each impersonation is a calculated move, fooling both predators and prey and buying precious moments to escape or hunt. The mimic octopus's mastery lies not just in color, but in movement, undulating its arms to mimic the sinuous motion of a sea snake, or flattening itself to ripple like a flounder. In a world where danger lurks in every shadow, this shape-shifting cephalopod is both actor and illusionist. Far to the north, the Arctic fox, clad in snowy white, becomes a ghost in the tundra. Through the seasons, its fur shifts from winter's pure white to summer's muted brown and grey, a living cloak that follows the landscape's transformation. In winter, it is a wraith among drifts. In summer, it melts into the rocky earth and sparse vegetation. With each change, the fox evades detection, stalking prey or slipping past larger hunters. Its survival depends on this seasonal transformation, a silent adaptation honed by generations. But camouflage is not reserved for the hunted. The praying mantis lurking among flower petals adopts the hues and shapes of blossoms. Here, it waits in stillness, an ambush predator, invisible until the moment it strikes. Its limbs sway gently, mimicking the movement of petals in the breeze, lulling prey into a false sense of safety. Some creatures take mimicry to extremes. The harmless milk snake wears the warning colors of the venomous coral snake, bands of red, yellow, and black, a bold bluff that deters would-be attackers. This is Batesian mimicry, where the innocent borrow the armor of the dangerous. In the rainforests, owl butterflies flash enormous eyes on their wings, startling birds into thinking a predator lurks nearby. The illusion is fleeting, but in that instant, the butterfly escapes. Yet, as prey grow better at hiding, predators sharpen their senses. The jaguar, prowling through dense foliage, learns to spot camouflaged frogs by the glint of their eyes, a tiny reflection that betrays even the most perfect disguise. The hawk moth caterpillar, when threatened, inflates its body and reveals a startling mask, a snake's head, complete with false scales and menacing eye spots. For a moment, a bird or small mammal hesitates, long enough for the caterpillar to drop to safety. This evolutionary arms race is relentless. Generation after generation, animals refine their disguises, while predators evolve keener sight and sharper instincts. In the shadowy forest and silent grasslands, every moment is a test of adaptation. Here in the wild's hidden corners, beauty and survival are intertwined. Every perfect pattern, every clever imitation, is the result of millions of years of pressure and possibility, a reminder that sometimes the greatest weapon is being seen only when you choose. In this world, the masters of disguise are the true survivors, their stories written in the patterns of fur, feather, and scale. Across every continent, water is the silent architect of life, sculpting the land and dictating the fate of every creature that calls the wild home. From the first light of dawn, rivers, lakes, and wetlands breathe vitality into the earth, their presence shaping not only the terrain but the very rhythm of existence. Rivers carve deep channels through ancient rock, wetlands cradle life in their tangled embrace, and lakes shimmer as oases in otherwise unforgiving lands. In the harshest terrains, where survival teeters on a knife's edge, these water sources become lifelines, drawing animals from miles around, each arrival a testament to the power of water to sustain and unite. For countless species, the search for water is a daily pilgrimage. Herds traverse sun-baked plains and parched valleys, their movements dictated by the subtle cues of shifting winds and distant thunder. As ponds shrink and rivers recede, the urgency grows, each step a gamble between hope and hardship. On the African savanna, the Great Migration unfolds, a spectacle of survival as wildebeest and zebras thunder across the plains, drawn by the promise of distant rain. The air vibrates with the sound of hooves, dust swirling in the wake of thousands, all driven by an ancient instinct to follow the water's elusive trail. Their journey spans hundreds of miles, a relentless race against thirst and hunger. Muscles strain, eyes scan the horizon, and every member of the herd is tested by the unforgiving landscape. The weak may falter, but the collective drive pushes the migration forward, forging a living river of determination. At river crossings, the stakes rise. Crocodiles, masters of patience, lurk beneath the surface, motionless eyes just above the waterline. As the herds plunge into the current, the river transforms into a gauntlet where every crossing is a perilous trial and survival hangs by a thread. Yet these migrations ripple far beyond the travelers themselves. Predators seize their chance, scavengers gather in the aftermath, and the very soil is enriched by the passage of thousands. Grasslands flourish, nourished by the nutrients left behind, and the cycle of life is renewed with every journey. In the arid heart of Australia, red kangaroos emerge at dusk, shadows stretching across the cracked earth. Guided by memory and the faintest scent of moisture, they traverse the outback in search of hidden waterholes, ancient pools that hold the promise of survival beneath a rising moon. These precious pools become sanctuaries where predator and prey alike gather in a fragile truce. Here, the boundaries of rivalry blur, and the need for water unites all in a moment of peace, each sip a victory against the relentless drought. For the desert's smallest survivors, adaptation is everything. The thorny devil lizard, armored and unyielding, has evolved a remarkable strategy, grooves along its skin channel dew and rain directly to its mouth. In a world where every drop is precious, this ingenious design transforms the faintest moisture into a lifeline. In the Amazon, water reigns supreme. Rivers wind through the emerald labyrinth, their currents both dividing and connecting the dense rainforest. Here, water is not just a resource, it is the very foundation of life, a highway and a haven for countless species. Beneath the surface, electric eels glide through murky streams, their bodies charged with power. With bursts of electricity, they hunt and defend, navigating the shadows with senses attuned to the invisible currents of their watery world. River dolphins, sleek and agile, weave through flooded forests, their flexible bodies slip between tangled roots, chasing fish through submerged groves, perfectly adapted to a world where land and water merge with the seasons. Each year, seasonal floods transform the landscape, submerging the forest floor and forcing every creature to adapt or perish. Some climb, others swim, but all must find new ways to survive as the land disappears beneath the rising tide. Some aquatic journeys are epic in scale, spanning continents and generations. The instinct to migrate, to follow the water's call, drives animals to feats of endurance that defy imagination. Pacific salmon, born in icy mountain streams, embark on a relentless migration to the distant ocean. Years later they return, braving rapids and leaping waterfalls, guided by memory and the scent of their birthplace, to spawn where their lives began, completing a cycle as old as the rivers themselves. Their struggle sustains entire ecosystems. Bears and eagles feast on the bounty, while the remains of the salmon nourish the forest floor, infusing the soil with nutrients and fueling the next generation of life. Even the smallest inhabitants have mastered the art of aquatic survival. Insects and amphibians time their emergence to the rhythm of the rains, their life cycles perfectly synchronized with the fleeting abundance of water. The water-holding frog, a marvel of endurance, buries itself deep in the mud, forming a living cocoon. There it waits, motionless until the rains return. Then, in a burst of life, it emerges to breed and feed before the land dries once more. In ephemeral pools, killifish lay eggs encased in drought-resistant shells. These tiny time capsules endure months of desiccation, hatching only when the rains revive their world, transforming barren mud into a teeming nursery. Across every ecosystem, water is more than a resource. It is the heartbeat of survival, movement, and renewal. Its flow connects distant lands, sustains migrations, and breathes life into the wild's most remote corners. Whether navigating vast migrations, mastering aquatic adaptations, or enduring the dry season's trials, each species reveals nature's boundless ingenuity. Every adaptation, every journey, is a testament to the resilience woven into the fabric of the wild. In the eternal dance between drought and deluge, life in the wild is forever shaped by the pursuit of water, a force that demands respect, ingenuity, and unyielding determination from all who depend on its flow. Beneath the towering grasses and fallen leaves, a hidden world thrives, a realm ruled by the smallest of survivors. Insects and arthropods, often overlooked, are the unsung architects of the wild, their survival tactics refined over millions of years. Every movement in this microcosm is calculated, every adaptation a masterpiece of evolution. In the heart of the rainforest, leafcutter ants march in endless columns, their jaws slicing through foliage with mechanical precision. Each ant plays a vital role. Some scout for the freshest leaves, while others defend the convoy from marauding predators. Beneath the forest floor, an underground metropolis comes to life. Fungal gardens tended by workers, nourished by the leaves above. This symbiotic partnership between ant and fungus transforms raw greenery into sustenance, fueling a colony that can number in the millions. On the sun-baked savanna, the termite mound rises like a fortress, an architectural marvel engineered for survival. Inside its labyrinthine corridors, workers tirelessly tend to the queen, repair tunnels, and cultivate fungus in carefully regulated chambers. Ventilation shafts and intricate passageways maintain the perfect temperature and humidity, allowing the colony to endure blistering heat and torrential rain alike. Here, cooperation is key, each termite's labor woven into a tapestry of survival. In the shadows of the forest floor, the trapdoor spider lurks in a silken tunnel, its lid camouflaged with soil and moss. Patient and unseen, it waits for the faintest tremor. When an unsuspecting insect passes, the lid bursts open. Lightning-fast jaws seize the prey, pulling it into darkness. This ambush, perfected over countless generations, is a testament to the power of patience and precision. Some insects wield chemical warfare in their fight for survival. The bombardier beetle, armored and unassuming, harbors a volatile secret. When threatened, it unleashes a boiling spray of chemicals, the mixture erupting with a sharp pop, deterring even the most persistent predators. This remarkable defense is a triumph of biology and chemistry, a portable arsenal in miniature form. Elsewhere, the assassin bug dons a gruesome disguise, cloaking itself in the remains of its victims. This macabre camouflage not only conceals its approach but also masks its scent, allowing the bug to stalk new prey undetected. Survival in the insect world demands ingenuity, and each tactic is as varied as the landscape itself. In the twilight, fireflies ignite the night with pulses of light, each flash a coded message, weaving a luminous conversation through the darkness. These bioluminescent beacons serve as both attraction and warning, guiding mates while deterring would-be predators. For some, light is a lure, for others, a shield. In the desert, the Namib beetle climbs to the crest of a dune, bracing against the morning wind. Tiny bumps on its back capture the faintest droplets of fog, channeling water directly to its mouth. This ingenious adaptation allows the beetle to thrive where rain is but a distant memory. From the jewel-toned mantis poised in silent ambush to the armored millipedes secreting toxic compounds, every insect and arthropod is a specialist, each survival strategy honed for a specific place and time. These micro-marvels may be small, but their impact ripples through the entire ecosystem. They pollinate flowers, recycle nutrients, and form the foundation of countless food webs. In the grand design of the wild, it is the tiniest creatures that often wield the greatest influence. Their lives are a testament to the power of adaptation, resilience, and the endless creativity of nature. Here, in the undergrowth, survival is an art, and every insect is a master. Beneath the relentless sun, the desert stretches in all directions, an ocean of shimmering heat and shifting dunes. Here, survival is not just a challenge, it is a constant negotiation with extremes. Only the most resourceful creatures endure, each one a marvel of adaptation. As dawn breaks, the fennec fox emerges from its burrow, oversized ears attuned to the faintest sound. These delicate appendages are more than just keen receivers. They dissipate heat, keeping the fox cool as temperatures climb. With silent paws, it hunts for insects and rodents, its creamy fur blending seamlessly with the pale sand. Nearby, the sandfish skink glides beneath the surface, its body streamlined for an extraordinary kind of movement. Like a swimmer in water, it swims through the dunes, escaping predators and the scorching sun alike. Each scale is polished and smooth, minimizing friction as it vanishes into the cool embrace of the earth. In the stillness of midday, the sun is merciless. Yet the Saharan silver ant braves the heat, venturing out when few others dare. Its metallic exoskeleton reflects sunlight, shielding it from lethal rays as it scavenges for food. Every moment above ground is calculated, each second a race against time before the sand becomes too hot to bear. At dusk, the sidewinder rattlesnake leaves its hiding place, moving with a mesmerizing sideways motion. This unique locomotion allows it to glide over loose sand without sinking, conserving precious energy. Its pale scales mirror the desert floor, rendering it nearly invisible as it ambushes unsuspecting prey. High above, the Egyptian vulture soars, scanning the landscape for remnants of life. With a powerful beak and ingenious use of tools, it cracks open eggs and bones, extracting nourishment where others find none. Each meal is hard-won, a testament to endurance and innovation. Even the smallest creatures are masters of the desert's demands. The darkling beetle stands tall, angling its body to collect morning dew, tiny droplets rolling down to its mouth. In this world of scarcity, every adaptation is a lifeline. As the stars ignite above, a chorus of nocturnal life awakens. Jerboas leap across the dunes on elongated hind legs, their bodies built for speed and efficiency. Tiny owls glide silently, their calls echoing through the cool night air. In the desert, survival is a study in precision. Every movement, every adaptation, is a response to the harshest of realities. Here, life endures not in spite of the extremes, but because of the ingenious ways nature has met them head-on. At the planet's frozen edges, where ice reigns supreme and the sun's warmth is a distant memory, life persists against all odds. Welcome to the polar regions, vast realms of snow, ice, and relentless wind, where only the hardiest survive. As dawn breaks over the Antarctic plateau, emperor penguins huddle tightly in immense colonies. Each bird is sheathed in layers of dense, insulating feathers, forming a living shield against the biting cold. Within the heart of the huddle, chicks nestle close to their parents, sheltered from winds that can strip warmth in seconds. The penguins' synchronized movements, shuffling in unison, ensure that every member spends time both at the frigid edge and the warmer center, a choreography of survival. Beneath the shifting sea ice, the Weddell seal glides effortlessly through sub-zero waters. Its body stores thick layers of blubber, a natural wetsuit that fends off the cold. With whiskers tuned to the faintest vibration, it hunts for fish and squid, navigating labyrinths of ice with uncanny precision. Up above, a crack in the ice offers a precious breath of air. Timing is everything, as the seal surfaces for only moments before vanishing again into the blue. On the Arctic tundra, the snowy owl perches silently, its white plumage a perfect disguise against the endless expanse. Keen yellow eyes scan for movement, locking onto a lemming darting beneath the snow. With silent wings, the owl swoops low, talons extended, each hunter test of patience and precision in a landscape where food is scarce and conditions are unforgiving. Nearby, the Arctic fox treads lightly across frozen ground, its compact body wrapped in the warmest fur found in the animal kingdom. As the seasons shift and snow gives way to brief summer, its coat transforms from white to brown, blending seamlessly with the tundra. The fox caches food during times of plenty, a strategy that sustains it through the long, lean months ahead. In the icy waters, the narwhal, mysterious unicorn of the sea, navigates beneath sheets of pack ice. Its spiral tusk, a sensory organ, detects changes in temperature and pressure, guiding the pod to breathing holes and prey. The narwhal's deep-diving prowess allows it to evade predators and reach rich feeding grounds far below the ice, where few others dare to swim. Even the tiniest inhabitants have mastered this world of extremes. The Arctic springtail, a minuscule insect, produces antifreeze proteins, preventing its body fluids from freezing solid. Hidden beneath snowdrifts, it grazes on algae and detritus, a vital link in the polar food web. As the aurora dances overhead and the world glows with green and violet light, the polar wilderness reveals its secret survival. Here is not just a matter of endurance, but of exquisite adaptation. Every feather, every whisker, every breath is a triumph over cold and scarcity, a testament to life's unyielding will at the ends of the earth. In the lush, shadowed world of wetlands, where water weaves through tangled roots and reeds, survival takes on a new form. Here, in a realm both tranquil and treacherous, amphibians and reptiles reign as quiet masters of adaptation. As dawn mist rises over a sprawling marsh, the American bullfrog emerges from the shallows. Its emerald skin glistens with moisture, a living shield against dehydration. With bulging golden eyes just above the water's surface, the bullfrog remains motionless, every muscle coiled, until a dragonfly strays too close. In a flash, its tongue darts out, capturing prey with pinpoint precision. Yet this predator is also prey. Lurking beneath lily pads, a northern water snake glides silently, its patterned scales rippling through the water. With a sudden strike, it seizes a careless frog, showcasing the delicate balance between hunter and hunted. Beneath the surface, spotted salamanders navigate submerged logs and leaf litter. Their slick, black bodies are dappled with yellow, a warning to would-be predators. These amphibians rely on wetlands' ephemeral pools, temporary havens that form after spring rains. Here they lay gelatinous strings of eggs, their larvae hatching into a hidden world teeming with life. As the pools shrink under summer's sun, only the swiftest to metamorphose will survive, racing against time before the waters vanish. On the sun-dappled banks, a painted turtle basks atop a half-submerged log. Its shell, a mosaic of red, yellow, and black, absorbs the morning warmth, fueling the slow metabolism that defines reptilian life. When danger approaches, a shadow overhead or a ripple in the reeds, the turtle slips silently into the water, vanishing with barely a trace. In the dense undergrowth, a green tree frog clings to a reed, its adhesive toe pads anchoring it above the waterline. With each breath, its throat expands, sending waves of sound across the wetland. The chorus grows as dusk falls, a symphony of calls that signals territory, attracts mates, and, in the stillness, warns of lurking dangers. Wetlands are ever-changing, flooded one season, dry the next. Adaptation here is a dance with uncertainty. Amphibians and reptiles enter states of torpor or estivation, slowing their bodies to endure drought or cold, waiting patiently for the rains to return. Their permeable skins and temperature-driven lives tie them intimately to the water's ebb and flow. From the stealthy alligator-snapping turtle, camouflaged among submerged branches, to the agile ribbon, snake weaving through cattails, each species is a testament to the power of adaptation. In this watery world, survival is not just about strength or speed, but timing, patience, and the ability to thrive in the margins. As twilight descends and the wetland glows with the last light of day, the amphibians and reptiles that call it home vanish into the shadows, silent, resilient, and perfectly attuned to the rhythms of earth and water. As the wetlands settle into dusk, a new spectacle unfolds above. The sky becomes a living highway for millions of migratory birds. From the tiniest warbler to the stately sandhill crane, feathered travelers embark on journeys that span entire continents, guided by ancient instincts and celestial cues. The camera sweeps upward, revealing a V formation of geese slicing through the clouds. Each beat of their wings is a testament to endurance and unity. The lead bird faces the brunt of the wind, breaking turbulence for those behind, while others take turns at the front, sharing the burden in a silent choreography perfected over millennia. Far below, a solitary Arctic tern glides over endless ocean waves. This small, determined bird will traverse over 40,000 miles in a single year, chasing perpetual summer from the Arctic Circle to the Antarctic ice and back again. Its wings barely pause, powered by fat reserves meticulously built during stopovers in rich feeding grounds. In the dense forests, a flock of tiny blackpoll warblers pauses to feed, their bodies doubling in weight as they gorge on insects and berries. Soon they will launch into a non-stop flight across the Atlantic, braving storms and unyielding darkness. Only the strongest will survive the perilous crossing, their hearts beating nearly 1,000 times a minute as they navigate by the stars and the Earth's magnetic field. High above mountain peaks, bar-headed geese defy thin air and freezing winds, soaring over the Himalayas in one of nature's most astonishing feats. Specialized hemoglobin in their blood allows them to extract precious oxygen at altitudes where few creatures dare to venture. Their journey is a race against exhaustion, and the elements, each wing beat a defiance of gravity and fate. On the open savanna, flocks of storks spiral upward on columns of warm air, riding thermals that lift them effortlessly toward distant continents. Their keen eyesight scans the land below for signs of water, food, and safe haven, each decision a matter of life and death. In the wetlands, the arrival of new migrants signals a brief but vital reunion. Here, shorebirds probe the mud for hidden invertebrates, refueling for the next leg of their voyage. The marsh resounds with calls and songs, a fleeting chorus before the travelers depart once more. Migration is a journey of hope and risk. Predators lurk on every route, storms threaten from above, and exhaustion claims the weakest. Yet, year after year, billions of birds answer the call of the seasons, charting invisible highways across the globe. Their odyssey is etched into the rhythm of the planet itself, a timeless dance of survival, resilience, and the indomitable will to endure. As the sky darkens and the last silhouettes fade into the horizon, the story of migration continues, unseen, unbroken, and ever onward. Beneath a shroud of drifting ash and curling steam, life finds a foothold in the shadow of volcanoes. The camera descends through swirling clouds, revealing a stark landscape where rivers of molten rock carve new worlds in their wake. Here, in the crucible of geothermal power, survival demands extraordinary adaptation. A close-up reveals a colony of Pompeii worms, their bodies fringed with feathery gills, clinging to the scalding walls of a deep-sea hydrothermal vent. Bathed in water that soars past 80 degrees Celsius, these creatures thrive where sunlight never reaches, nourished by symbiotic bacteria that metabolize toxic chemicals spewed from the Earth's core. Their survival is a delicate balance. Too close to the vent, and they risk being boiled alive. Too far, and the cold abyss claims them. On land, the camera glides over a barren volcanic slope where patches of emerald moss and tenacious lichens take root in the nutrient-rich ash. These pioneers break down rock into soil, paving the way for future generations. Time-lapse footage captures their slow, patient advance, a silent reclamation of the wasteland. In the steamy forests surrounding geothermal springs, The elegant New Zealand lesser short-tailed bat flits through clouds of warm vapor. Unlike its aerial cousins, it forages on the forest floor, hunting insects drawn to the perpetual warmth. The bat's fur is thick and moisture-resistant, its metabolism finely tuned to the fluctuating temperatures that define its home. At the edge of a sulfuric hot spring, the camera lingers on a family of extremophile flies. Their larvae wriggle in pools laced with acid, their bodies armored against the caustic elements. Overhead, steam vents pulse rhythmically, releasing plumes of gas that obscure the sun, painting the landscape in shifting shades of gold and grey. Beneath the surface, the camera enters a hidden cave where blind salamanders glide through mineral-rich pools. Deprived of sight, they navigate by touch and chemical cues, their skin translucent and ghostly pale. Here, evolution has favored patience and efficiency, each movement calculated, every calorie conserved. From the fiery mouths of volcanoes to the simmering depths of the ocean, life persists against overwhelming odds. Each species, a testament to the power of adaptation, transforms disaster into opportunity and devastation into sanctuary. In these extreme realms, survival is not merely a struggle, it is a triumph of resilience, innovation, and the relentless drive to endure. As the camera pulls back, the landscape glows with elemental energy, a living canvas, ever-changing, ever-challenging, and forever home to the world's most extraordinary survivors.